Non-duality is the idea that we are not separate beings, but we are one living whole. Some people might think that this idea is mystical or impossible, but there are at least 3 different ways that you can approach it: through science, through spirituality, or through mindfulness. Each one of them offers a doorway, and today I'm going to show you that each of them in their own way point to the same truth: that separateness is an illusion. Okay, so let's start with science, because non-duality is not just a spiritual idea. Physics tells us that the world is not made of solid, independent objects, but actually it's made of fields and relationships and probabilities. And even our own bodies are not separate from the cosmos. Every atom of carbon and oxygen and nitrogen within our bodies was forged in the center of a star. We are literally recycled stardust, just borrowed for a while before being returned to the wider flow of the universe. So the line between us and the universe is not a wall, it's a constant exchange of energy, of breath, of matter. And neuroscience adds another twist. It says that the self is not a fixed thing. It's just a process stitched together by the brain. A story created from sensation, memory, thought. Convincing, yes. Permanent? No. Donald Hoffman is a cognitive scientist with a radical proposal: the interface theory of perception. He suggests that what we perceive is not reality itself, but a kind of interface, like a computer desktop. So on your desktop computer, if you have an icon that you want to delete and you drag it into the bin, then when that happens, you don't see the circuits and the resistors and the electricity flowing through the computer that actually makes that happen. You just perceive the interface. In the same way, what we see, the desk, the microphone, the computer, all of these things are just icons. They're symbols. And they're not showing us the truth of reality. They're just there to help us to survive. If that's true, then the separation that we perceive is just part of the interface. It's useful, yes, but it's not the truth of reality. And behind that interface, what we may find is that there are not many, there are one. The second doorway is spirituality. Every wisdom tradition, in its own way, points beyond separation. The Bible says, "In God we live and move and have our being." Hinduism whispers, "Tat Tvam Asi," thou art that. The spark within you is not separate from the infinite. And Taoism reminds us, the name that can be named is not the eternal name, pointing to a reality beyond categories, beyond separation and beyond labels. And the Sufi poet Rumi said, "I am not this hair, I am not this skin, I am the soul that lives within." But even the soul here is not an isolated spirit. It is the beloved shining in all forms. So these are different words and different images, but they have the same idea running through all of them, that we are not separate. And if all traditions converge here, perhaps it's not just a doctrine, perhaps it's a truth that we are meant to live by. The third doorway is mindfulness, because non-duality is not something that we can just read about and think about, it's something that we can taste directly. When we sit quietly and watch the world around us, the hum of traffic, the sound of birdsong, the rhythm of our own breath, and then we watch the world inside us, the coming and going of our thoughts, the rising and falling of our emotions, we can start to notice something surprising. The appearance of the external world is no different from the appearance of the internal world. We do not choose which thoughts will arise in the same way that we do not choose which noises will arise. Both come and go in the same field of awareness. And in that moment, the line between inside and outside begins to blur. We see that thoughts and feelings and sights and sounds all arise in the same space of consciousness. And mindfulness also expands our sense of compassion. Through practices like loving kindness, we can extend compassion to our friends and our family, and then extend it outwards to acquaintances and people that we don't know, and maybe even people we don't like, until little by little the circle of compassion extends to all beings. This is what non-duality feels like. Not an abstract theory, but a deep sense of connection with everyone and everything around us. So science reveals to us that separation may be an illusion of perception. Spirituality reminds us that oneness is at the heart of every tradition, and mindfulness lets us taste it for ourselves. These are three different ways of looking at the world, but each path leads to the same mystery, that we are not separate. And when we live from this truth, something changes. Conflict softens, compassion deepens, and life becomes not just bearable, but profoundly meaningful. Because non-duality is not about believing in the right idea. It's simply about living as if there is no separation, and then perhaps along the way we'll realize that there really never was.